Hello guys, welcome to another coaster fight. I haven't done this in a long time, but I'm back with another coaster fight. Today I'm going to be comparing two Intamin launch coasters from the same park, Fahrenheit versus Storm Runner, which are both located at Hersheypark in Hershey, Pennsylvania. So, I have a whole list of categories that I'll be ranking these coasters each out, and each coaster will have a possible score 10. So, without further ado, let's get started. First up, start with the height category. And Fahrenheit has a height of 128 feet, and Storm Runner's height is 150 feet. So, for this, I'm giving Fahrenheit a 3 out of 10 and Storm Runner a 4 out of 10, which are not bad heights for the ride that they are. They actually do look a lot taller than they actually are, so yeah. Next up, we got the drop, and Fahrenheit's getting an 8 for its Beyond Vertical drop. It has a Beyond Vertical drop, and it's actually a really fun element. I really did like that drop. And then Storm Runner's getting an 8 out of 10. Storm Runner's drop would be better if it were a little bit longer. I feel like the drop is over way too quickly. Like, it just wasn't the most memorable drop, but it did have some great air, so I'll give it that. But yeah, Storm Runner's getting an 8 for the drop. Next up is speed. Fahrenheit's getting a 5 for going 58 miles per hour. I think that's about your average speed, or close to average. Storm Runner's getting a 6 out of 10 for going 72 miles per hour. And let me tell you, you really feel like you're going that fast. It is just crazy. And I'll explain it more once we get to the intensity category. Next up, let's go into the layout. Both coasters are getting 9s. I feel like both coasters have flawless layouts for the type of coaster they are. Fahrenheit's layout, I feel like, is pretty strong, and so is Storm Runner's. What I really like with Hersheypark's coasters is that they just put more into their coasters. Like, they add some really weird, funky elements to each of their coasters, and that's one thing I love about Hersheypark and the roller coasters, is that they do that. So next up, let's move on to the smoothness of the rides, and I'm giving both an 8. I feel like both coasters are pretty smooth, and they're pretty good in this category. However, with most Intamin coasters, I feel like there's a rattle on both coasters. And I sat towards the front on both coasters, Storm Runner and Fahrenheit, so I'm going to give both of them an 8. I found it to be a bit of a rattle on both coasters. It wasn't anything like, it wasn't like uncomfortable, I think. It wasn't unbearable. It was just something I noticed. It was slight. It was a slight rattle. But it's that's that, so it's kind of like Cheetah Hunt. If you know, I always say that Cheetah Hunt has a rattle. It's kind of like that. But yeah, let's move on to the next category, which is transitions. Both are getting a 10 out of 10. Now, the coasters would get lower scores for this category if it had the plastic restraints, which we'll talk about that once we get to the restraints category. I'd never rode them with old restraints. I've only done these two coasters with the soft restraints, but we'll talk about that in the restraints category later. So let's move on to our next category, which will be elements. I'm giving Fahrenheit an 8 for its amazing inversions, including a Norwegian roll, which I thought was a pretty interesting element. The Cobra roll, I actually thought was probably one of the better Cobra rolls I've experienced. My favorite inversions, though, were the two corkscrews. They just felt like they were really high speed, which is what I loved. And Storm Runner is getting a 10. Storm Runner has some incredible elements. I'm mostly giving it a 10 simply because of the flying snake roll. Oh my gosh, what the heck is this element? This is without a doubt probably one of the single best inversions I have ever experienced. I did not expect much coming from this element, but I was simply astonished, and it just left me speechless. That is probably one of the reasons why I love Storm Runner so much. So yeah, Storm Runner is getting a 10, but Storm Runner has some incredible elements as well, such as that weird deformed element, or whatever you call it, snake dive, I don't know. The top hat, also the top element. The top hat's pretty incredible. The launch is so good. So yeah, Storm Runner has some incredible elements. So let's move on to our next category, which is intensity. Fahrenheit's getting a 7. Fahrenheit, I thought was an intense ride. Wasn't the most intense. It wasn't as intense as I thought it would be, but it is pretty compact, and towards the end it does get pretty intense. I kind of wish I rode Fahrenheit in the back. I'm pretty sure the back was way more intense. I actually rode it right up at the front. And Storm Runner, I'm giving it a 9. Well, I don't think I'd give Storm Runner a 10. I mean, I'm tempted to give it a 10, but some else there was just kind of like airtime. But the elements where it was positive G's, you felt the positive G force, especially that launch. Oh my gosh, that launch is insane. Like, I was literally left speechless from that launch. Easily my favorite launch on a roller coaster anywhere. Like, and this is why Storm Runner is my favorite launch coaster I've ever experienced. So Storm Runner easily dominates Fahrenheit when it comes to the intensity. Next up, we got the duration of both rides. Fahrenheit lasts about 1:25, so I'm giving it a 5. I feel like that's about average for duration. Then Storm Runner, I'm giving it a 3. The only problem with Storm Runner is that it is a short ride, which kind of sucks. I kind of wish it were a longer ride. Dare I say, if it were a longer ride, I would actually call it the best ride at Hersheypark. I am dead serious. I would actually call it my number 2 coaster if it were a much, much, much longer ride. But for the ride it packs in so many elements in 50 seconds, which is something that I love about Storm Runner. But with Storm Runner, it's still a short ride, so I'm giving it a 3. Next up, let's move on to the pacing category. Fahrenheit's getting an 8. I thought Fahrenheit had a pretty good pacing. The only moments where it felt a little slow was towards the top of the Norwegian Loop and the Cobra Roll. I felt like those elements were a bit on the slow side. Not the slowest, but just kind of like there, I guess. And then, but towards the end, it got really like fast. It just felt so much faster towards the end with those high-speed corkscrews and the turns in that airtime hill, which you actually got a good amount of airtime on. So I'm giving Fahrenheit an 8. In Storm Runner, I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. I did not feel like we lost any speed at all in Storm Runner. And I was towards the front. I was in row 2. I remember I was in row 2, and all I can say is that I felt like we were going 70 miles per hour throughout the entire ride. It was crazy bonkers. It was an incredible experience. The pacing was so good on Storm Runner. I'm easily giving it a 10 out of 10 without a doubt. Next up, let's move on to the theming category. In Fahrenheit, I'm going to give it a 2, and here's why. Yes, Fahrenheit literally has no theming at all, but I guess it's themed to the drop of the ride, I guess. I don't know, it's kind of a cheesy theme. It's kind of themed to the drop because it's 97 degrees, and 97 degrees Fahrenheit, if you could say that. I don't know. It's kind of a cheesy theme, so I'm giving it a 2. In Storm Runner, I guess they're kind of theming it to a horse, I guess. I don't know. It really does not tell any theming at all. It's an amusement park coaster, what I expect. I'm giving it a 1. Not every coaster can be themed like Disney's coasters or Universal's coasters. Even SeaWorld and Busch Gardens coasters. So next up, let's move on to the restraints category. And I'm giving both an 8 because both have the exact same restraints. They both have the soft vest restraints. They used to have the plastic restraints, which everyone hated. So Hersheypark took them out and replaced them with soft vest restraints, and everyone loves the coasters even more with the soft vest restraints. Or soft restraints, my bad. They're not Vekoma restraints, I don't know what I'm saying, but the soft restraints I thought were pretty good. It was my first time riding an Intamin coaster with the soft restraints. I say I probably prefer them over the plastic ones. I know Cheetah Hunt has those plastic restraints. Busch Gardens, please add those soft restraints to Cheetah Hunt. Please add them Busch Gardens to Cheetah Hunt. But in all seriousness, I thought the restraints on both coasters were pretty good. So let's move on to the last category, which is the setting. Fahrenheit's getting a 5. I feel like Fahrenheit's setting is just kind of standard. It's nothing really special. I like how you can get kind of close up to the coaster, which is something I really liked, but I feel like the setting for Fahrenheit was just kind of basic. And in Storm Runner, I'm giving it a 9. Storm Runner, you just kind of fly through all these like trenches and river sections. You even kind of go through. You can even kind of fly through the Trailblazer too, which is something that I really liked. And it was just, that was super cool about Storm Runner. So I'm giving Storm Runner 9. Not a 10, but a 9. So we do have a winner here. We are done the coaster battle, and taking the place as the winner is going to Storm Runner at Hersheypark. Congratulations, you have defeated Fahrenheit. I know that a lot of people would kind of argue and debate on which coaster is better. However, for me, for this battle, Storm Runner has won, and for me, I'd actually do prefer Storm Runner over Fahrenheit by a mile. So that'll do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos and more coaster fights in the future. I know I've been doing a lot of vlogs recently. Also, don't forget to check out the social media link, which will be in the description below, and comment down below which ride do you prefer. I'll see you guys next time. Have a theme-tacular day.